Like we have rightly mentioned the various parts of a scaffold, it is good for us to see now the various type of scaffold. In building construction, there are various type of scaffold, but the common one used in Nigeria are: one, the put-log scaffold called dependent scaffold; two, we have the independent scaffold; three, we have the mobile scaffold; four, we have suspended or cantilever scaffold. These are the ones we are going to discuss today. In trying to describe the various types, it is better that we go to the site to see it practically, because when we describe scaffolding here, without seeing the practical description of the scaffold, we may not be able to get exactly what it means. We shall now go to the site to see a practical demonstrations of the various type of scaffold. One, we are going to see the scaffold called the put-log or dependent scaffold. What is dependent scaffold or put-log scaffold? A put-log scaffold, as the name implies, called the dependent. It is not standing on its own. It is supported by wall. It is standing, it's having a standard, it is having a ledger, it is having a put-log, it is having a brace, it is having all parts we have mentioned, but one, the standard is having a singular standard. It is not a double standard. So it means that it requires a support from the wall. A typical example of the one you are seeing here, you will see that these are the standards you have seen around. But if you look inward, there is no other standard. What is connecting it? You will also see the ledgers connecting all the standards along the line. The next you're going to see, you are going to see the put-log. What is the put-log? The one connected to the ledger here at a standard here that is connected and fixed into the wall. That is what exactly I was describing as put-log. The ones we are seeing here, you will find that it is commonly used where we have a simple construction work. It doesn't require heavy loading, and that is why we can now use dependent scaffolding. The dependent scaffolding have advantage. It is easier to be erected. It is easier to be erected. It's not as much as expensive as that of the independent scaffolding. But also, if you look at the other side of the disadvantage, you will now notice that it cannot be used for a bigger construction work, where it needs much loading, where the skyscrapers, you cannot use them. You only use them on a ground floor construction. So that is exactly what I mean by an independent scaffold. Follow me to the site. Let's see what it means by the independent scaffold. And you will now see the real descriptions of what I've said in the class. Thank you.
The type of scaffolding we are seeing here is called the dependent scaffolding. Sometimes they call it a foot-log scaffolding. The scaffolding, why they call it dependent scaffolding, is that it has only one stand. The one standard here, this one you are seeing here standing vertically, it is called the standard. It is called the standard because why it's called independent, because it has only one standard. What is supporting it majorly, it is the foot-log that is being driven into the wall to support it. The foot-log you are seeing here, this part of the scaffolding is called the foot-log. If you look at the scaffolding itself, you will find that just look at this person standing on the scaffolding. He's actually working on the scaffolding. Now, you see, this part of the scaffolding you are seeing here, it is called the platform. But the platform, it is placed on what is called the ledger. The ledger here supports the platform. It is standing as a block, and also from here, it is also called the ledger. If you look at it, ordinarily in a tall building, when their construction is going on, you will expect that there should be protection at the side here. Here in this scaffolding, there is no protection here. They are supposed to be what is called the guardrail. The guardrail are placed here by the side in case if there's any fault of either material or the human. But for here, just because the building is not a tall one, the construction here is even put the guardrail. However, the scaffolding here is here to here to ease the work of the people on the top here. Carrying the load, whatever materials you want to use for the scaffolding. You look at it here, you find that in this scaffolding here, they decide the soil here, where the stand is on here, is a very strong one. They are supposed to be what is called the base plate, but they have driven the standard into the ground, making it a very strong one. But ordinarily, in the principle of scaffolding, they are supposed to be what is called the base plate. Also, if it is a tall building, there are supposed to be need for what is called the brace. The brace here is to create support to this. Support from one end to the other. In addition, you discover that the scaffolding we are having here, in the principle of the construction, the distance between one standard and other should not be more than 2 meters. The standard here should provide not more than 2 meters. You can see a practical use of this dependent scaffolding. What is this man doing? He's using this thing because without the scaffold, he would have worked comfortably. It would have easy work. But when I look at it, a typical scaffold. Now, the dependent scaffold, the materials used for the dependent scaffold could be if they can try to use a wooden dependent scaffold or use a tubular dependent scaffold. So the tubular ones are the tubes used either steel or aluminium. But for this practical work we have seen here, it is a timber scaffold. Other places they use a bamboo. In this community where there are available bamboo, they use bamboo for the scaffold. But for this work now we have seen here, it is a typical timber independent scaffold. Thank you.
Now, the next type of available scaffold we have and we use in our construction work is the common independent scaffold. Sometimes they call it Manson scaffold. In this type of scaffold, it has a double row of standard. One very close to the wall, and the other one a distance equal to the width of the platform from the wall. That is, it's having one row very close to the wall, the other row far a distance away from the first row. That is why it is called independent scaffold, because it is not solely relying on the wall like the dependent scaffold. It is distant from the wall, it's on its own, it's standing on two rows, you understand, without necessarily looking for more support from the wall like the dependent scaffold requires. So when you look at it, you find that the rows are fixed at an interval across the wall where it is going to be used. If it is an entire whole building, you find they construct a scaffold all through. But mostly, you find they construct, after maybe completing the work, they now move to the other side. However, why do we even need the independent scaffold? The independent scaffold is required where there is heavy structural work, where it needs what? Much heavier loading, or where it needs what? A skyscrapers, where the dependent scaffold cannot be more suitable. So that is why you see that they double the rows of the platform so that it can work in a very big construction work. You look at it, while somebody will say, why do we need independent scaffold where it requires double row? No. One, it is more stronger. It is what? More stronger. and it can carry more heavier load. But the disadvantage is that it's the cost. The cost of erecting it is more than that of the dependent scaffold. Like you can see, you will learn this thing. It has the standard, like I have mentioned as part. It has the ledger connecting it. It has also, when you look at it, you find there is a roll connecting the two rows together, which is also the put log. It is braced. It also have, if it is metal material, it has coupling. Most of them you find they are placed on a base plate, that is base plate on the ground to hold it firm. So you look at it, the erection, they are more similar. They are not. They are kind of erection, but it differs with the independent scaffold, because independent scaffold has a double row of handles. Now, for us to comprehend what exactly I'm saying here, let's go to have a look of this independent scaffold we can now see on the side. This is a practical demonstration of what an independent scaffold on the side is. This is what is called independent scaffold. The independent scaffold is a type of scaffold that stands on its own without necessarily building to the wall. Like you can see, this is a standard. This is also a standard. And the scaffold, you can see from here, somebody, you look at somebody, a worker, up here, because the building is above the ground level. 2 meters above the ground level. There is no way he can walk, or he can lay his feet, or do plaster work on the ground, because the level is high. And the part of the scaffold, you see this one I'm talking here is called the standard. On the bottom here, you see the base, because the scaffold must be placed, the standard must be placed on the base plate, and the base plate must not be placed on a very good soil. The soil must be a very strong soil. Look at the practical demonstration of what the scaffold is used for. You see this person here, the next here, we include plastering work. On the plastering work, there is no way you can stand here, there is no way you can use the cement up here, there is no way you can put his block, there is no way you can put all his material. The only way you can put his material is to have a platform above the ground level. In the ground level here, when you look at the picture here, this is called a ledger. This wood here that is supporting the board here, the platform here is called the ledger. And the one that goes into hold by the wall here is called the footlock. You cannot see a diagonal one wood here, wood is supporting the scaffold. This is called a thread. This is called what? A thread. So when you have a look at this scaffold, this is a wooden type of scaffold used in building construction. We have other types of scaffold that we have found available. We have an independent scaffold that is using a tubular material. A tubular material that is true, we have there, commonly used in big structural work where there is heavy load is needed. But in this one here, the wooden one here, where there is heavy load work, the wood itself cannot be very suitable for it. So that is why we are using the wooden material to demonstrate the tubular independent scaffold. You will see also, when you come there up there, you see how it is braced. The brace here is to provide giving support. You will see up there, before this is made, before the platform is made, there is supposed to be a guardrail here to prevent material falling. To prevent what? Material falling. It is supposed to guide the worker and the material used for building construction. However, when we get to other type of scaffold, you will not see the difference between the dependent and the independent type of scaffold. The one we call mobile scaffold. The mobile scaffold is another type of scaffold. Simply, it is sometimes more of independent than dependent. It is a scaffold erected using tubular material. It is not using a wooden material. They use tubular material with a roller on the ground. Fixed, it is a form of either rectangular or a square form. It is erected with a roller on the ground, used basically for a kind of construction where there are no enough space to erect either the independent or dependent scaffold. It is used where there is need for movement of the worker, moving from one place to other. Particularly if you look at it, you will find that maybe you want to do a simple fence and it does not require much loading, and the space in between, it is not much between your wall and the other wall. So the mobile scaffold can be erected to move from one place to the other. It is also used for painting work. When you see painters, they use it and put their platform on top of it. They move when they finish painting this part, they roll it to the other side. And that is why it is called a mobile scaffold. How do we see it? If you look at the picture here, although I will not be able to see lay my hands on one on the side. But when you have a look at this picture, you will not see the difference between this picture and the ones I have mentioned as dependent or independent scaffold. You will not look down. It instead of used to use a base plate, it is not using a base plate, it is using a roller to roll, to move from them, and then push from one place to the other. That is exactly what it means by a mobile scaffold. The last one we have here called suspended scaffold. The suspended scaffold, sometimes it is classified as also maybe a cantilever one. Why is this suspended? You are working above above the first level, and maybe you don't want to use maybe the standard. You will see they use a rope. They use a rope to tie the platform onto the wall. They now use it to hold it on the other side and tie it on the wall, and they now put their platform. The platform now, it will not stand. It doesn't have a standard holding it down to the ground, but rather they use a rope to tie it off to the wall. They do the wall, and they put their platform and they walk upon it. You will now see a clear picture of what it means by a suspended scaffold. The suspended scaffold are not commonly used in Nigeria. It is only used maybe in developed countries, but because of there, you find that maybe the soil where it is going to stand, maybe it is not suitable enough to use an ordinary independent or dependent scaffold. That is why they use to suspend it to enable them walk on their side. That is commonly used in the developed countries. Those are the common type of scaffold based on erections. Based on erections. Now, in the classification, if you talk about type of scaffold, the classifications are based on the material used. And like I have rightly said from the beginning, that there are so many materials we use in scaffold. The one we have, the wooden type, is the common type of scaffold we use in our building construction site in Nigeria. If you go commonly to the construction, even the school, even outside within your compound, within your environment, you see the common materials we use for erections of this scaffold, either dependent or dependent, is commonly the wooden material. What is wooden material? When you go to the sawmills, you will see wooden material we use for roofing and also for constructions of so many of upholstery material. Those materials are, like I said, the ledgers. Like I have described on the side you see. You see, this is a typical example of a wooden material for erection of a scaffold. Now, you will begin to why we are trying to do this, so that when you are on the site as a building technology student, you should be able to select the suitable material for the erection of the scaffold. Now, what are the advantages of this wooden material? One, they are readily available. They are readily available. Two, they are very, very cheap. They are cheaper. And in the wooden material, another advantage is it can be easily cut to sizes. Another advantage is that it does not require much more cost of maintenance. It does not require much more cost of maintenance. So when you look at it, you find it has advantages. Also, to the disadvantage of wooden material, you find it is what? It is susceptible to fungal attack. It is susceptible to fungal attack. Two, it is not as strong as that of the metal material. It is not as strong as for heavy construction work. The wooden material is not recommended because of the nature of the wood. So you look at it, you find for every material you are going to select, you look at the advantage and look at the disadvantage. In the wooden material, when you use wooden material for construction, you find that large holes are left on the walls compared to any other material. Because of the size of the wood, they have to what? Create large holes to hold the material to the wall. If you also look at it, you find that where construction is taking a longer period of time, we have to remove some parts and replace them to avoid collapse. So you find it has a very serious disadvantage. Now let's look at the other material commonly used. In the construction work, when you see a big construction work, you find that they don't use the wooden material. What they commonly use is called the tubular material. That is metal alloys material, using tube. So that one is called the tubular scaffold. The first one I mentioned was the wooden scaffold. The tubular scaffold. What do we mean by tubular scaffold? If you look at the material they use in the scaffolding, both the ledger, both the standard, both the brace, both all those materials they use is a form of pipe in a tubular form, and it is a metal form. And that is why they call it a tubular material. When we look at it very well, what do you expect? You expect that the metal material should be more stronger than the wooden material. It is commonly used where heavy loading, heavy construction work is needed. High-rise building is required. So they can use that as what? As a good scaffold material. So tubular scaffolding is one of the type of scaffolding material we use. Now let's look at the advantage of a tubular scaffold. They are most likely not to deteriorate. They are most likely not to deteriorate. That is, they are more stronger. If it is carefully conducted, it is also easier to be constructed. 3, there is no need for replacement of any parts. It takes up less space, that is 4. It takes up less space in terms of construction work. 5, it can mostly be used even in the internal walls compared to a wooden material. And 6, it does not create much holes on the wall like the wooden material. So those are the few advantages of a tubular scaffolding. The disadvantage we have for tubular scaffolding, 1, it can be corroded. It can easily be corroded if it is not well lubricated. The second one, it is highly costlier than the wooden type. It is highly costlier. Number 3, the cost of preservation is also there. The cost of preservation of the tubular scaffolding is another disadvantage. Number 4, many couplers are required. Unlike the wooden ones, we use nails, we don't use much couplers there. In this case now, the couplers, many couplers are required to fix the scaffold. And lastly, it needs a competent person for the erection of the scaffold. So when we look at it, you will now discover that all of them has advantage and equally have an disadvantage. The common one, lastly, we have other type of scaffold we have, that is the bamboo. The bamboo is just in form of a tubular form, but it is not wood, it's neither a metal. It's just a tree called a bamboo tree. These are commonly used where there is availability of bamboo. It is used where there is availability of bamboo. One, if you look at this part of the country, the bamboos are commonly available, are mostly available in the southern part of the country. And that is why you see, if you look at the construction aspect, they want to talk about scaffold. If you go to most of the construction around, you find they use bamboo because it's readily available. In some part like the northern part of Nigeria, bamboo is not common, so it is not mostly used on those, unless if maybe you decide to buy them from the market and transport them there to the north. The bamboo, you look at it, it has a hole. The erection process of the entire method of this bamboo is just the same like any other method. Requires nailing or part, the ledgers, the pull-up, whatever. And it can also be used to erect the different type of the scaffolding I have mentioned, like the independent, the dependent, and also we don't use it for the mobile one because it needs a roller. Mostly the metal one, they use a mobile metal material for the metal one. So the bamboo is a common type we have. If you have a look, you look at this picture you see here, you see how they tied all the bamboo for erections and used for scaffolding on a wall. Here you see it. Now, when we look at bamboo, we now look at the advantage. What are the advantages of using a bamboo? One, where it is plentiful, it is recommended because it is going to be accessible. Two, it is also cheaper where it is plentiful. Three, it is easier to be constructed. Four, it is dismantlable and can be reused. It is dismantlable after erections, it can be reused compared to the wood. Because if you look at the bamboo, so it does not have much deformation compared to the wood. So it is properly stacked, it can be reused. It does not require much cost for preservations. What are the few disadvantages we have? The few disadvantages of bamboo is one, cannot be much used for high-rise building because of the material used. Two, the disadvantage that in a moisture area, it can also deteriorate easily. And three, it cannot carry heavy loads because of strength compared to a tubular scaffold. So with this advantage and a disadvantage, I think the student, when you find yourself on a site as a building technology graduate, you should be able to make specification, make recommendations, be able to select this type of scaffolding for the construction work on the site. Now, having gone through all the discussion we have made, you will now go to the next clip to see the questions you are going to answer at home. Having gone through all the topic we have learned in this Class, the student should be able to answer the following questions. What is scaffolding? Number 1. Number 2. Mention 5 principles of scaffolding. Number 3. Describe the following part of scaffolding. A. Ledger. B. Putlock. C. Standard. Brace. We have the base plate. Number 4 questions. Mentioned 3 types of scaffolding based on erection. Mentions 3 types of scaffolding based on erection. So those are the questions you are going to answer after reading through the clips. Having completed answering the questions, you are supposed to forward your answer through this email address: muazimbgcoe@gmail.com. The email address again is muazimbgcoe@gmail.com. muazimbgcoe@gmail.com. Submit a very short answer through this email address. Thank you. Scaffolding used in construction, like we have rightly discussed in the lesson, it simply means the temporary erections or platform to provide access for workers, materials, and tools above the ground level. We have also looked at the various classifications of scaffolding based on material and based on erection. We have also seen the principle guiding the erections of scaffolding. 1. You should not use a loose soil to place your base plate. 2. The standard, that is upright vertical members, should be very strong enough. All members, materials used for the erections of the scaffolding must be durable enough. 3. That you should make sure that the brace is provided to add strength to the scaffolding material. So if you look at the principle, you will now see that anytime you find yourself constructing or erecting a scaffold, the principle can now guide you. We also look at the parts of scaffolding. Having looked at it, we have the ledger, you have the standard, that is the vertical upright member. You have the ledger, that is the horizontal member that has the standard. We have the putlock member that connects the standard, the ledger to the wall. We also have the base plate that is required to provide support to the ledgers on the base on the ground. Those are part of the scaffolding. We also have the platform where you climb, you put your load, you put your brake, you put your hand tools. That is also, as said, you should also look at the guardrail. The guardrails are also part of the scaffolding that protect the fall of a member, the fall of a material, the falls of all building facilities we are going to use upstairs there. Also, we were able to mention the various types of scaffold based on erections and based on the material. 1, I said the common type of scaffold we have around here, it is 1, the dependent called the putlock, and the independent one, and the other one called the mobile scaffold. We also have a suspended scaffold, which is not commonly used in Nigeria. Also, based on the material we use, classification by material, we classify the type of scaffolding under this. We look at it as wooden scaffold. Wooden scaffold where we use commonly wooden material to erect the scaffold. We also have the tubular scaffold where we use a metal alloy material which is in the form of a tube. a pipe used for erections for scaffold. I say commonly a tubular scaffold is used in the high-rise buildings, and it is used where heavy construction is required. If you look at also the other materials I have mentioned during this lecture, is to bring in about the local material we have around here in Nigeria. I said the bamboo, which is commonly used and where it is plentiful available. Where I specifically mentioned the southern part of the country where they have abundant bamboo trees. But if you look at the other part of Nigeria, like the northern part of Nigeria, we don't have much. So that is where you see we don't mostly use bamboo as what? As a scaffolding material. So I think at this juncture, we have completed this lecture and you have learned about when you go to your site one day, you are to supervise your work, or you are asked by maybe your client to suggest to him the kind of scaffold, or when you are supervising a building, when the building goes above 2 meters high and the masons or people working under it can no longer have access to their work, you will now recommend scaffolding for usage on the building site. Thank you.